Of course, that's how we start. Hi, everybody. Uh, Welcome to Wildside Week here on Lost Caravan. This week is in celebration of World Wildlife Day, which can be traced back to its establishment just 10 years ago by the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora and the United Nations General Assembly. This is a day and for us a whole week of fun to recognize the unprecedented threats such as biodiversity loss, habitat destruction, and climate change that wildlife populations worldwide are facing. By supporting RE Wild this week, it is to raise awareness about these threats, promote sustainable practices, and preserve the natural world as well as the life that inhabits it. So, what are we doing for Wildside Week? We are going to be playing a game of Dogs in the Bark, which is a Blades in the Dark hack. And we have an entire pack of found family doggos that are going to be defending home today. So we're going to go around the table after I tell you, because my brain is working right. I am Synthetic. I will be your GM for today. You can call me Sin. And everybody is going to say their name, their doggo's name, what kind of doggo they are, and of course, your playbook that you are playing from the Dogs in the Bark hack. Let's go ahead and start right directly to my side with Mary. And we can popcorn around after that.
All right. Hi, everybody. I am Mary. My pronouns are she, her. Today, I am going to be playing actually my youngest little fur baby dog, Eloise. She is a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Her pronouns are she, her, and she is the pedigree, aka the house pet that is a little bit of a diva. But that's okay because she's adorable, no thoughts, head empty, ready for fun. Am I okay? I get to okay. Jason, go.
Oh, we're picking the next victim. Okay.
That's what I thought. Got so confused and flustered.
I am Jason, otherwise known as JJ Sin or Graphical Ronin. JJ Sin on the Twixter, Graphical Ronin just about everywhere else. My pronouns are he, him, and the darkness what lay beneath. The doggo I am playing is Gunther. He is a canine soldier who is a German Shepherd. His pronouns are he, him, boy, bestest boy, goodest boy. And let's go with Nikki.
That's me. I am Nikki, aka the Coyote Witch. Pronoun she, her, and tonight I am playing he, him, the littlest of hairless black dogs, who has an accent that sometimes makes his bark sound like a meow, but that's just an accent. Definitely a dog. People sometimes call him Snickers, but his real name is the Night Stalker, and he is the dog fighter. That's me.
Literally.
Oh, Brent.
Hello, my name is Brent. I am Flammensein in most places. Easier to say Flammen, and I go by that. My pronouns are he, him, and chaos. I am playing tonight 0349. It's pronounced Derp. He is, nobody's really sure what kind of breed he is. His hair is patchy and mostly falling out. He also goes by Twitchy and Pinky. And he is a test subject. And he seems to be male.
I think that leaves with Karish.
I guess so. Hi, I'm Karish. Pronouns are she, her. You can find me online at Karish or Karish Valendar, depending on the site. Tonight I am playing Aether or Ether, however you want to pronounce it. Her pronouns are she, her, and she is a borzoi, and which is the long snoot doggos, if you've ever seen them.
The elegant ones with the long hair.
Oh, no. No, they're not elegant. They're just newt. That's all they are. And
It's the horse dog.
I am. It's the what dog?
The horse dog.
Oh, pretty much. And I am playing from the playbook, The Enigma.
And that brings it back to me, of course, synthetic, as I said, but I forgot to say I use they, them pronouns. So, let's go ahead and head into our world. We are in a forest. This forest is not a forest that would normally exist. There's many different types of trees, many different types of climates even. It's almost as though this forest could be any forest and no forest all at once. But there is one overarching feature that is prominent within this forest, and it is a dark honey fungus named Mother Mycelium. If you are familiar with the concept of the humongous fungus, this is a fungus that has an entire body that makes it actually the largest living organism in the world. So Mother Mycelium is always with you throughout the entire forest. There are coniferous trees, deciduous trees. There are tropical trees and temperate trees. It's kind of a hodgepodge of different spaces that might be taken up by this forest, which each of you have come to call home. And I would like to start off by having you all describe what you do in a normal day in home. This is a place far away from humans, where humans cannot reach. But what does your day look like? Would anybody like to volunteer to start?
Gunther's day is very regimented. He gets up at the crack of dawn. He does one patrol around the entire forest. He does another inner patrol. He snoots around for snacks. He makes sure everyone gets up, and then he goes on his second patrol. And by nightfall, he's on his 14th patrol, and everything is good, and he can make sure his people are bedded down and safe for the night.
I love that for Gunther. So right now, maybe Gunther is on a second patrol, possibly.
Yeah, he does the second patrol backwards from the first, just in case anyone's getting sneaky.
Ah, very fair. Who else would like to describe their day?
I would be sleeping. I sleep a lot, and I am a doggo that can climb trees really well, so I'm probably up in a tree somewhere trying to sleep through Gunther's little walking back and forth and probably getting really annoyed, and my tail, which is a really nice thin tail, is all twitchy and annoyed, but I'm trying to sleep because I sleep a lot.
Fair. I'm sure that we'll figure out at some point what's going on with that.
No.
How about Karish? What does your normal everyday look like in home?
She spends it a lot of the time just staring, like just looking off, looking at things that no one else can see. It's like she'll move occasionally, but it's still just this very distant, like looking off into the distance. Sometimes her eyes will follow something, but if you follow her eyes, there's nothing there. Um, yeah,
You
that's
sure
pretty much
you're-
what she does.
Are you sure you're not a cat? Because that's what my cat does.
Oh, I'm a dog. I just like
Not that
staring.
there's any people that we are suspicious of being cats in this
No,
area.
no,
absolutely
Here,
not.
No cats.
All dogs.
All dogs.
Brent, what does your day look like normally?
Derp likes to move around and help people get things done during downtime and make sure that they're not hurt or anything like that. He takes care of people's wounds. He somehow managed to learn how to use surgical scissors and a stitching needle to close up cuts and stuff. Nobody is really sure how he manages to hold the needle without thumbs, but he does it. He's still trying to figure out a cure for his patchy hair, but he's always got to be busy because if he's not busy, somebody might lock him up.
Fair. And Mary, what does your day look like?
Yeah, so Eloise, you probably find her lounging in her little corner of or her room area of this forest. She's been able to drag all the niceties that she's found from the human world, so it looks like a lush Victorian little forest corner. She's got a chase lounge that she is perched on. She even was able to have some of the different forest creatures help her with her different medications that she needs. So she's probably having one of her every 6 hour medications so she can be happy and functional and ready to play. But honestly, it's probably spent perched in a higher point, looking at the things moving and then staring at them. She's also is very much for personal hygiene, so she is going to be groomed prim and proper with her long Cavalier King Charles ears that they kind of curl. She kind of has little like hoo feet where the hair just kind of flicks up at the end. Uh, and it's just got like this beautiful little collar that is bright pink with these little like diamond studs on them. Um, she is very much go where the wind blows, wherever the treats flow, and will have the best damn time there ever was, as long as she gets her meds every 6 to 8 hours. It's not a good scene if she doesn't get her meds. You know, the ghosties bite her butt, and then she's wondering why everything hurts. But then the meds are there, and everything's okay.
Oh,
I want to say that part of Gunther's daily ritual is to stand at parade attention and hold a brush in his teeth, and she just walks back and forth under it to get herself groomed in the wild.
Absolutely. It just happens every day, and she has no idea why, but it's just a blessing every day that it happens. So
I love that. And in this forest home, there are many different kinds of random lights that you will see. They don't really make out to be any specific thing, but what these lights are magic of various kinds, including the magic that brings the necessary medication for everybody who needs it. So it's on a day like this, Gunther would be getting back from second patrol-ish when you hear something from Mother Mycelium. Now, Mother Mycelium does talk to you regularly. She's not a foreign entity to any of you. She was the one that welcomed you home when you first got here. And she speaks through a psychic link with anyone. That if you deny the link, you would not hear her, but if you do accept it, then you hear just a pleasant voice ringing in your head whenever she wants to speak with you. Today, it's a bit of alarm that she has, though. I usually don't bring you news like this, but unfortunately, it seems as though there could be an incursion at the edge of home. That is all that you hear at this time. I will get you more details soon.
Gunther will ask the Earth Doggo, that's what he calls her, which direction it's coming from.
I am guessing that was directed toward the Enigma.
Mother Mycelium.
Oh, Mother
If we can
Mycelium.
talk
Okay.
back.
The Earth Doggo.
That's Earth Doggo.
Got it.
Mushroom doggo.
I was completely confused for a
I
second.
got it. Cattail.
The origin is difficult to pin down. I believe its point is north by northwest from the central location. Meaning that it is beyond even her reach at this point.
Oh, so it's outside of the forest. Or just.
Yes.
Night Stalker, the Night Stalker, is going to jump down from his perch. Everybody hear that, right?
Joel.
Art pokes his head from the bush that he was standing next to when the voice came out. And says,
One of
Yeah.
us should scout.
yeah. Pulls back into the bush a little bit.
I love that we have
I'm
doggos
already-
holding cats right now.
Yeah.
Definitely a doggo holding a cat.
Cats and dogs living together. Pandemonium.
That never happens.
Yeah, Gunther's already up on like a log or a rock and he's sniffing in that direction and his ears are doing that thing where they're like angling around like radar dishes. Looking for the signal.
Yeah, Night Stalker's gonna start stalking forward, doing what the Night Stalker does best.
Okay. So a couple of you are at attention. Is there any movement from Mary at this point?
Yeah, I think like seeing that the other dogs are moving and trying to discern whether what she heard was head thoughts or words, she's going to just start like following wherever anyone else is going, and I think she'll just kind of pipe up and say, so where are we going, guys? I don't quite understand exactly the route. I thought it was lounge day. There's nice sun out. Sounds like a lot of walking. That like, look at my little paws. I'm gonna have to moisturize.
It's my favorite doggo.
I have been broken by one dialogue.
I just want to cuddle.
You gotta watch Mary. She'll do that to you. Gunther will say, he'll say, Tree Doggo says there's something in the woods. That way. And he does the nose point with the paw in the air. Back tail's rigid.
Some
Can't get a smell on it though.
Okay, you guys go first. Okay.
Um,
Night
Aether's
Stalker, you
going
smell anything?
to Aether's going to look at Eloise just with a very like blank stare and be like, if they go first, then what's preventing something from coming up from behind you? And their gaze shifts to like behind Eloise.
Just like instant like crouch on the ground, and she will just like army crawl forward behind everybody, as though there is something constantly like she'll be like looking around trying to figure out what it is. But yeah, it is that low to the ground, slow walk the way there now.
Mhm.
Fair
For point,
enough.
Aether. I'll take point. Night Stalker, you take the rear. Everyone else in the middle. Single file.
Night Stalker's gonna run up into the trees and follow along from, you know,
All
like a tree
all right, Dirk,
dog.
you're in back.
Derp follows
Fair.
behind. He's lags a little bit behind. Looks a little unsure around him, constantly looking back and forth, making sure there's none of those weird tricks that used to always jump out at him, like electrical shocks and stuff. Like he's always
Very
worried.
fair. So, at this point, I'm going to give you all a simple 4 o'clock for getting to where Mother Mycelium told you to be, and you can use. I'm going to do this group style. You will get 1 die because Mother Mycelium is always with you. But you can add either dots from Hunt or Prowl. I think both of those. And if you would like to make an argument for another type of move to utilize, I am happy to hear them, especially if they are patently ridiculous.
And this is like a stealth check kind of thing, or is this?
No, this is more like getting there. Like it's a like running to the location type thing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I rolled an 11.
Would I be able to, instead of using Hunt, because I have 2 pips in command, would you be willing to let me donate those 2 dice to somebody else, because I'm kind of calling out the orders as we go?
I think I have a reverse proposition for you. You can use command, and if you take 2 stress, I'll let you do like a group help action. So you
Okay.
would give 1 additional die to each person.
Yeah, I'll take the stress. I
Okay.
feel like I'm wound pretty tight already.
Fair.
Alright, so we all get 1 additional die.
You will get 1 additional die. So you start out at 2. If you have additional dots in in Hunt or Prowl, rather, you can add those. Or if you have a ridiculous usage of another skill, I am willing to hear you out.
I rolled a 15 total.
Oh, we should explain the die rolls. We're looking for the highest die result that you get. So you just have to, if you have 6s, that is a complete success. A 4 to 5 is a partial success. A 3 or lower as your highest die is a failure. And if you get 2 6s, that is a critical.
I just got 1 6.
Okay, so complete success for you.
I don't have any dots in either of those skills.
Same.
That's fair. Are there any skills that you would like to argue that Eloise would use in her situation?
I may have one. So Eloise is actually hard of hearing, so she relies mainly on sight triggers. If I could possibly use survey to like, she would probably know safe paths, just like that, like she could watch out for to basically find the safe path on our way there as she's
Okay,
crouched to the ground. But
that makes sense to me.
okay.
Go for it. And for Ether?
I too don't have any pips in those. So I was wondering, since Aether's pretty, like, they're very thin. Like, they're tall, but they're very thin. So would
Yeah.
I be able to use finesse as they weave in and out of the underbrush?
Sure. Go for it. And what about Dirk?
Derp is gonna try and prowl. Trying to get from hiding spot to hiding spot, but making sure none of them are traps.
Fair.
Because things jump out and you get shocked. I don't know how many dice I'm rolling though. Was that 2 dice or 3?
D6s. So you would have 2 D6s that you roll. Plus, if you have dot in prowl, you would add that. And so you would have 3 D6s.
5's my highest.
5? Okay.
Rudy.
And,
I got a 6.
okay.
I got a 6 as well.
And how'd Gunther do?
6 and a 4.
Okay. So all of that together, you're able to finish the clock and get to the scene. I was going to have things get bad according to like how many partial successes people had. With 1 partial success, everyone is able to get there. Time gets a little bit fuzzy as you move through home, as it is not one place but many all at once. When you get there, it seems that you have gotten to the site in the middle of the night. This is not unusual, and Gunther, since you patrol so much, you would probably know. Home has like all the times going at once. You kind of just keep track of what the central home location time is, because otherwise it gets to be kind of a headache. That doesn't really sound like the life you want.
I've got my own stopwatch in my head at all times.
Fair, fair.
It's Gunther time.
So it's Gunther time. I can't wait to see what happens at Gunther time.
All
So-
time is Gunther time.
That's fair. So, what you see are several different pieces of construction equipment. And they are getting ready for moving into the area of home. You're right on the edge. You can see within your sight line where the final piece of Mother Mycelium is at the edge of home. But it is night here, and it is up to you what you would like to do now that you have happened across this equipment. So you may talk amongst yourselves and craft a plan.
What is that? I'll jump down from the tree and kind of,
I'm sniffing around the treads.
yeah, stalk slowly towards it.
I don't like the smell, so I cock a leg and mark it.
It definitely there is a strange smell that comes with all of this equipment. It smells like it's from another place, and it's almost overwhelming to smell. Like there's so many individual smells in the middle of everything that it's really more than you have smelled before, unless you have been to a place where there's humans.
It smells
Self.
so bad, and not the type of bad I want to roll in.
Yeah. Gunther has military training, so he has probably been around like Jeeps or, well, Humvees, I guess. Things like that. So he's not put off by the mechanical smells, but them being here is definitely something he doesn't like.
That's fair. Speaking of Gunther, would you like to go back and imagine for a moment how Gunther arrived at home?
Yeah. I want to say he was in a convoy. He doesn't know it's called a convoy, but he knows that he was on the moving things with the peoples. And it was in a storm, and the moving thing he was in went off the road and wrecked. And he staggered out, and he was hurt and confused, and he just wandered until he heard the voice and wound up in the woods. And he stayed.
And that first voice you would have heard would have been Mother Mycelium saying, "Welcome home." How about Night Stalker? How did Night Stalker, comma thee, arrive at home?
He stalked his way. Um,
I have always been.
I've always been here. I am the night. I think that Night Stalker, who was once named Snickers, was probably a feral cat or born to like a feral mom. And somebody tried to rescue them, and they didn't want to be rescued. So we just escaped, and somehow my mom got caught or something, and she told me to run. So I started running, and I got beat up by some other cats and saved by a dog. I decided that dogs were better than cats because they are, because I'm definitely a dog. And I decided I didn't want to be in any city because cities are full of people, and that's just bad news. So I stalked my way into the night, and I ended up here with other
Fair
dogs.
enough. How about the pampered Eloise? How did she end up at home?
How this forest works, it sounds like it's a little like magic-y inclined. So this is kind of like her vacation spot, like when her humans are at work. So she basically, when she was outside, because she knows the parameters of her house, and there's like a nice little wooded area next to her house. And I think one day she was probably following a butterfly that was moving way too fast for what it should have been. And found this nice place, and they had some like nice water and a place to sleep. And as long as she was back by a certain time, her humans kept letting her out, so might as well make some more doggy friends outside. So I think it's one that she like wanders back and forth. She's still like prob probably out of a lot of the group has a much better relationship with humans just because she has not been through a lot of the life experiences a lot of these other dogs have. But for her home is where her humans are. So, but she's also finding a love of just being around other dogs and how fun that is, as well. So I think that this is a place that she wants to protect because she's heard about the hardships these other dogs, and she knows that her humans would take in a bunch of dogs, but there must be more dogs that need places like this. So that's why she tries to protect it the best way she knows how, which is usually act really, really cute and make the humans go the opposite way of the forest.
Fair. What about Aether?
Aether originally came from, she hung out at a graveyard. So she's been around humans, but not like living humans as much. Like there's the graveyard keeper and the people that came for funerals and people who would come visit, but she was more interested in seeing the spirits of the humans or the spirits of the other animals that were there. And one day she just heard a voice or saw a spirit that was different. It was different from all the other ones that she had seen. And curiosity got the better of her because it didn't seem like it belonged there. And so she followed it, and that led her home.
That's fair. I think that spirit that you would have followed, you might not have recognized it as one, but it would have been one of the will-o-wisps that move throughout home. And how about Derp? How did he arrive at home?
Derp's not quite sure. He used to live in a very strange place with lots of humans in white coats. They made him do things. He got shocked a lot. Had to learn how to do puzzles and stuff and eat foods that tasted weird, and some of them upset, and his hair would fall out sometimes when they'd wash him with things. And then one day, a group of humans wearing lots of flannel and blue and orange broke in and let all of the animals out. And he didn't really know what to do, so he tried to follow one of them, and they went down into a ravine, and he got lost, and he just followed this strange voice from nowhere.
And eventually heard that welcome home. That's the only common experience that all of you share. And even Eloise, that moves back and forth every time that you come into the forest, is welcome home. So, you see this machinery. You're looking at different kinds of... God, it would be very helpful if I remembered the names of things, but like you have digging implements as well as even a giant crane standing or looming in the background. So there's all kinds of machinery here. It looks as though they're getting ready to take a piece of home and change it into something else. So, get those memories of when you first